Hey troops, GeneralJSmith here, and welcome back to another LEGO Star Wars 2017 Winter Set Review. This is the Battle on Scarif 75171, ages 8 to 14, comes with 419 pieces, and is going to retail for £55 or $60. So straight off the bat, you can tell that kind of price for this kind of piece count, that is pretty hefty. And it seems to be part of a worrying trend that LEGO is doing right now, where the sets are being significantly overpriced. And I don't entirely know why. They did with the A-Wing, and they've done with a few other sets in the past. And quite frankly, not only is the piece count not there, but honestly, I don't see a massive reason why it's so expensive. Now, yes, some of these panel pieces are quite large, whereas these plant pieces might be quite expensive, but overall it doesn't really feel and it doesn't really look like a $60 set. That being said, it's still a good set. Personally, I'm more into the vehicles rather than the scene sets. There are a few good ones, for example the Battle on Scarif, or say Palpatine's Arrest, or the Death Star Final Duel. These are some of the good scene sets, but overall I still prefer the vehicles. That being said, however, let's now go and move on into the minifigures to find out if that $60 price tag is actually worth it. Our first minifigure is Cassian Andor, who's of course a main character in Rogue One. He did come in one other set last year, the U-Wing, where he had kind of like a blue jacket or coat, something like that. In this particular set, because of course this is set later in the film, at the end of the Battle of Scarif, he comes with this brown jacket and the kind of basic trousers and just basic printing on the back and the front of the torso, as you can see. The face printing, to my knowledge, is exactly the same, although as I said, I do not have the U-Wing unfortunately, so I can't actually compare the faces, although I'm pretty sure they are the same face print. He does have a double-sided face. We can see here this is the more serious kind of I'm about to die sort of face, because if you're unaware, I suppose there's a spoiler alert, but the Death Star does end up killing Cassian and all the characters in Rogue One, unfortunately, but still, very nice printing. As I said, pretty basic, nothing too special. The gun, I'm not sure if you can really tell in the camera, but the colour here is slightly different, not just the usual sort of standard black, which you get with other regular stormtroopers or whatever. It is slightly lighter, which you also get more in the First Order kind of sets as well, but still, it's nice to get them here as well. Overall, a good minifigure, and if you did not get the U-Wing like I didn't, then this is a good, cheaper way to pick him up, so very nice, and I'm glad we got him, because of course he is a main character in Rogue One, so I'm glad we got Cassian Andor. Now let's move on to, of course, the main character of the entire film, Jyn Erso. Our next minifigure is Jyn Erso, who is of course the main character in Rogue One. Just like Cassian, we also got her in the U-Wing last year, although if you could not pick that one up, this is also another good place to get her. Unfortunately, unlike Cassian, she does come in the ground trooper uniform, just like we got in the TIE Striker, and other than the face and the hair, it is exactly the same, including the leg printing and the torso and all that. I say unfortunately just because if this is the only place you have got her, if you didn't get the U-Wing, then that does mean that you're going to have to use her in the ground trooper uniform, so it does look somewhat weird to have her in that kind of thing, although of course it does make sense to the scene. Overall, a nice minifigure, as I said, exactly the same uniform, including the leg printing and the torso printing, which is very nice, which comes with a little blaster there, and the back printing is also very good, very reminiscent of the actual film in that scene where she infiltrates the base. The hair and the face are different. I mean, well, not probably if you got the U-Wing, but for me at least they are new. It's pretty basic though. The hair printing, I believe we have seen before, sorry, hair mold we have seen before in other sets. We get a double-sided face here. This is a more angry face, you know, the more kind of gonna get the plans type thing as she's running towards the AT-ACTs. Overall though, a nice minifigure, and as I said, good that we get her in this set. Unfortunately, I do kind of wish we got her in the regular thing, because if you didn't get the U-Wing, then it'd be a little odd to always have to use this one at a time, although I'm sure she goes quite cheap on eBay or Bricklink right now, so it's really not the biggest deal in the world, and overall it's still nice that we get her. Now moving on to the last minifigure, we have, of course, the Scarif Troopers. Our final minifigures are Scarif Troopers, or Sand Troopers, as they referred to last year in the TIE Striker, although I believe that is the more accurate name, because I don't think these are specific to Scarif. Of course, Scarif is the only planet as we have yet seen them on, but I believe they were meant for kind of tropical, any sort of sandy sort of planet, so I believe Sand Trooper is the more accurate term for these particular troopers. Now, they are exactly the same as the ones we got in the TIE Striker last year, except for the fact in that particular one, this arm was kind of more of a sandy blue type colour. I believe that's meant to represent rank, like that one was a higher rank than these regular ones. Still, we do get two of them in this set, which are very nice. The printing down below and on the torso is, of course, also very nice, and on the back as well, you can see they're very good. If you want to build your Imperial collection, this is also a good way to get multiples of them, because as I said, you do get two of them in this set, whereas in the TIE Striker you only got one. We got the face printing here, which of course is the regular trooper. Not many people are happy about that. Many people wish it was just a clone trooper face specifically and nothing to do with the stormtroopers. On one sense, I do agree. I kind of wish there was just a regular black head, because of course stormtroopers are not all the same. They're not clones, but still, in my personal opinion, it's not the biggest deal. I generally keep the helmets on anyway. We have this gun here, which I really don't like, to be honest. I wish they just gave them the regular weapons like these, which we have before. Although I suppose it does make more sense, because of course there were slightly different weapons in the actual film. They were kind of more double barrel things, which did look cool, but still I would rather we just got regular weapons, because I think these just look weird and just over bulky or something. Nonetheless, a very nice minifigure, and I'm glad we get two of them in this set, as I said. But there we have it, two of the minifigures for the Battle on Scarif. Now let's move on to, of course, the set itself. As I said at the beginning, I generally prefer the vehicles to these kind of scene sets, although this particular one does have a lot of cool features and a lot of things that would make it more valuable than, say, the average scene set. That being said, is it worth £55? Because that's quite expensive. To put into context, the new Lego Batmobile, which came, of course, from the new Lego Batman movie, that also goes for £55. And if you've seen that set, it is quite large. I'm not entirely sure it's quite the same scale as this, but we'll have to see. Anyway, moving on to this set, of course, we have this little crate here, which is quite cool. We get the same one in the hover tank from last year. And finally, a little complaint with that set was the fact we only got one of these because there were two different slots. Personally, I didn't think it was a big deal, but you know, even so, in here we get some binoculars, but there's nothing too special about this really. Of course, you can put some other other accessories in here, although there is actually another slot in the set, which I'll show you in a second. So having the set in hand and comparing it, say, like hand, I presume my hand is like an average sized, but you can see it's not incredibly large, not incredibly small, but to put in context, for £55, it doesn't feel that large, to be honest. I mean, I don't know, something about it, it's just not that heavy or that considerable when you have it in hand. That being said, however, it does have a lot of features. The first one, I suppose, we have at the front here, you can move these knobs up, of course there are two, and you can slide this out. Of course, in here we have some weapons and some grenades. I love this little feature, the way when you put it back in, it does stay in. Of course, you don't really notice it, because as you can see, you don't really notice these kind of seams right here, unless you really know they're there, or unless you really look for them. You can't really notice it. It's not incredibly noticeable. I think I've said that a few times now. We have this little control panel here. It's not really a feature, but it is a little thing which I think is quite cool because in the actual film it's kind of accurate where I think it's Chirrut, I can't remember how to pronounce his name, but the kind of force-sensitive guy who's also blind, who reminds me of Daredevil actually, he goes there and I believe he turns the knob while everyone, like these death troopers are trying to shoot him, and he trusts in the force, and he unfortunately dies at the end, but still it's a nice little feature that I'm glad they added in. Of course it should be considerably larger, but this entire thing should be considerably larger, so yeah. One thing I can think why this set may be a bit more expensive is because of these palm pieces right here. Oops, sorry. Because these, I believe, do go for a fair amount on bricklink, and I'm not actually a bricklinker, so I don't really know, but I do believe they go for a fair amount, and some of the pieces in here I think are quite large, so it may give a bit more for that, but still, we get a fair amount of them throughout the set. These little things here aren't actually any functional, they're just there kind of for show. We get some features here, and just like the one here, you wouldn't notice this feature unless you actually knew it was there. So in these little slots here, by the way, these are all stickers, and that's kind of a little annoying as well. You've got a couple stickers there. I do wish some of them were a little printed, but still. You can see here, these little sort of square openings, they're not just there for detail. Also, if you push them down, you got to do a bit of force for them to actually really pop up, but come on, there we go. It was actually a lot more tricky because the thing is you have to put quite a bit of force because they're stuck in with, I believe, 3 different studs, as you can see there. So you have to do a bit of force to do it, otherwise it just goes like this. See, it's not incredibly impressive, but still, there you go, some little feature which I think is quite cool. We also get some grenades in there as well, which I think is quite cool. As you can see, which because it keeps falling down, you have this little thing, which isn't as much a feature. I suppose you can obviously knock it down, but this I think is more just for because the doors need to open. And of course, when it is like this, the doors cannot open; they can't slide open, unfortunately. So I think, of course, you can blast it, and these you can see both ends do fall down. I'm not entirely sure what the purpose of having this here was. Maybe you could get another one and sort of attach it there. But other than that, I can't really see what the purpose of having that there was really, because it looks like something should be there, but nothing is there. So there you know. Moving on, of course, you can see the doors do open. You just have to open them with your finger, like you just pull them out, like here, there's a little slot, which of course you can just pull on. Yeah, I can do it. Okay, there we go. You pull it on and like that. Fortunately, unlike this, they are not held there just by gravity, like they are held there by friction as well, so you can like move it that way and the doors do still stay in place, as you can see, although this one is completely just held by gravity, and it gets a little annoying, although I suppose as a scene set, it's not really meant to move about a massive amount. Still, as you can see, moving on to the back, we get quite a bit here for such a small thing. Of course, the actual bunker is considerably larger, but still, we get, these are stickers. These are also stickers, I believe, although this isn't. These panel here and this one, this one on the bottom is a sticker. This one isn't, basically. And of course, we have here. This is not a sticker though. This is the same one we got in the Droid Escape Pod from 2015, I believe, or 2016, can't remember. But sometime in the winter line, it's the same sort of thing. If you didn't get that set, which I wouldn't blame you, it's not a particularly notable set. But if you didn't get a set, it's another good place to get this particular panel, because it is quite cool. A lot of people do like it, especially a lot of people who like to collect those really rare pieces, because I believe there's only come in a few different sets before. It is quite a rare piece, and of course, it is a pretty iconic thing from episode 4, so that's quite cool. Other than that, however, that's more or less it for the actual features of the set. Overall, as I said, holding in hand, you can kind of see, by the way, inside, because sort of inside here, really there's not, like this detailing, this kind of grey here, is really on the outside, and when you see inside, you can see a sort of yellow, red kind of stuff. It doesn't look as pretty, but that's just generally a thing Lego does. Of course, red and yellow bricks are cheaper to make than these grey bricks, so when you can't see the bricks, they might as well just make it sort of like blue or yellow or whatever. So just a little hint for if you're wondering why the inside of this is a different colour to the outside, that's just because it's cheaper, basically. Overall, though, it's still a nice set. Some good pieces, as I said, and these are pretty rare to my knowledge. They don't come in this colour quite often, these pieces, as well as, of course, you've got some panels and these palm trees, as I said. Overall, just a nice set, nice collection of pieces here. Really cool, I would say. When it comes to scene sets, if you're into the kind of scenes like the Duel on Geonosis or the Duel on Naboo or Palpatine's Arrest or the Death Star Final Duel, these kind of scenes kind of thing, then I would say it's definitely worth picking up and good. Is it worth the £55 though? Well, that's a big question, and we'll find out at the end when I conclude this review. But that is it then, mostly to my review of this set. Now go on to the instructions, the box, to include my review of the battle on Scarif. The instruction manual, of course, as always, is what you would expect for a set of this size. Just the one instruction manual, 2 pages of inventory in the back there, as you can see. An advertisement for something I've said before, this Lego Life thing, which I believe is some sort of app which your kids can use if you've got like a smartphone or an iPod or something like that. As well as an advertisement for the Lego Force Awakens video game, which is actually a really good game. I hope to get it at some point. Really good, I recommend you pick it up. I presume there will be a Rogue One version, like a Rogue One video game as well, so I cannot wait to get as well. We've got the minifigures in the back here, all of which I have, apart from the ones from the Phantom, or the Phantom 2, which I would love to get, because I think they are quite cool, especially Admiral Thrawn there, who was really, really cool. Still, all the sets here as well. The only one I do not have is the Phantom. I don't plan to get it anytime soon, although if you really want to get it, leave it down in the comments. I will consider it, but I don't know. To me, it's just not a particularly priority. I really prefer all the other sets. But yeah, as you can see here, we've got the features in the back as it goes over, as well as, of course, 91 pages of build. So, yeah, more or less, I believe it was 4 or 5 pages of, bags of build. So, pretty standard what you expect for a set of this size, but 419 pieces, £55. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Is it worth it? Now let's move on to the box. The box is also quite standard and what you would expect for a set of this size. Of course, we've got the minifigures down there in the corner, as well as the features that you can go over, and the Death Star art, or sorry, Death Trooper art there, which is also very nice. Moving to the back, we have the features as I just went over, including the way that this can sort of blast down or fold down, I suppose, and the doors can open like such. You've got Cassian running with the plans there, which is quite cool, as well as you've got a little thing here. And of course, if you're unaware, in the film, as I said, the reason she's dressed in the ground trooper uniform is because she's meant to be infiltrating with Cassian and K2. Unfortunately, is not in the set. I wish K2 was in the set because he was in this scene as well. Maybe not when they were actually running outside towards the ACTs, but he was in the set with like the Battle of Scarif, you know, in the control center. So I kind of wish he was here, but I guess not the biggest deal. You know, he is quite a rare minifigure, only in the Krennic shuttle. Still got the features I just went over, as I said. Overall, a nice set, nice features, and yeah, really that is it then to the set. Let's go now and conclude my review of the Battle on Scarif. Thank you for watching my review of the Battle on Scarif 75171. Overall, this is a good set, but is it worth the price? Well, it really comes down to what else you can get for that sort of money. Consider that you can get the ATSD, a battle pack, and in fact even a collectible minifigure for the same price for £55. It really puts in perspective how expensive and somewhat how overpriced this set actually is. And for that reason, while I will say that as scene sets go, it is a good one, not the best. I prefer Palpatine's Arrest and the Death Star Final Duel, but it's certainly not the worst, and certainly worth getting. I'm going to have to say I don't think it is worth that £55 price tag. I'd recommend it goes down in price, not by a great amount. I doubt it'll go any further down than like say £45, maybe £40. But I would say maybe £45 is a good price to get this, because I think it is still good and worth a fair amount. I think the value for what you're getting is good, but I just don't think it's quite worth that sort of money, especially considering what other Lego sets you can get with the same money, especially considering you get the ATSD, the battle pack, and a collectible minifigure for £55. So when you think about that, it is quite expensive. Overall though, it is a good set and worth picking up if you can get it a bit cheaper. And really, I recommend you do, because if you're a bricklinker, or if you're not particularly just into, you know, the Battle of Scarif, you don't really want the set as a set, you can part it out, and the minifigures are also good. There are just a lot of good things to the set, and really, whatever you're into, even if you're not massively into Star Wars, I think just the pieces from this would also be quite good, like these palm pieces, palm tree pieces, and just on the whole thing. Thank you guys for watching my review though. I hope you did enjoy it, and I hope to see you next time with my Y-Wing review, which will be the last of my 2017 reviews, unfortunately. But until then, I'll see you next time. Bye, troops. with another LEGO Star Wars 2017 Winter Set build and review. I've already built it. It comes with 419 pieces and it's going to retail for 50. Back with another LEGO Star Wars 2017 because I think they are quite cool to have in a collection, you know, such as although maybe some of these palm pieces do slightly rise the. I prefer the vehicles rather than the scene sets, but every once in a while, it's just Our first minifigure is Cassian Andor, whatever, who is of course one of the main characters from Rogue One. Cassian Andor, god damn it, Cassian Andor. We did get him in a previous set last year, the U-Wing. Oh, for God's sake, why can't you speak? Although in that one, he came with kind of like a blue. The entire plot, more or less, We got it in the Republic hover tank. No, it wasn't Republic, was it? So first,